And thank you again for the meeting and the time you've given us. We will take your message back.
كما تعلمون نحن كثيرون في المنطقة رحبوا بقدوم أوباما ثم بخطاباته وباللغة والوعود التي قدمها ووعوده. وكنا وما زلنا نأمل أن يتمكن أوباما وإدارته من تحقيق سلام عادل في المنطقة، ولكن للأسف حتى اللحظة السلوك العملي لإدارة أوباما غير مشجع.
Thank you for sharing your views. Maybe I can answer briefly. Obviously, I'm not speaking for the American government. What President Obama says, Secretary Clinton says, and Senator Mitchell, that's the authority. But I have the feeling that President Obama is going through in our domestic politics a very severe test. He was faced, when he became president, with the greatest economic crisis we have faced since 1932. And if he is not able to win in terms of controls over the financial situation so that we don't have these crises anymore, at least not so severe, then by next year he is going to look like a failure, and his ability to change foreign policy is going to be diminished. Yes. So I say, as an American, please be patient a bit. He cannot take on all interest groups at once. And in particular, on health care and financial things, he needs the Jewish lobbies.
نحن صبرنا 60 عاما ومستعدون نصبر أخرى 6 سنوات.
We have been patient for the last 60 years.
I understand.
and we are willing to be patient also for the coming 6 years.
I understand.
No, 7.
60 plus.
7 for Obama, for two
terms.
Two
terms.
My second comment would be, and it's not a direct comment, let me draw a bit on my experience as ambassador to the Soviet Union. We were faced with the growing movements in the 3 Baltic countries for independence. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. They were independent between the 2 world wars, and we had never recognized legally that they were part of the Soviet Union. After the Soviet Union occupied them at the end of World War II, delegations would come to me as ambassador in 1987 and say, we want to move toward reasserting our independence. Will we have your support? If we declare independence, they said, will you recognize us? And I said, no. We cannot recognize your independence until you're independent. And if we did before, the Soviet Union would crush you. Absolutely. They would consider it a provocation. It's their territory. And let me tell you, there's nothing we could do if they did. And the Lithuanians and the others would say, well, we have been patient for more than 40 years. Why should we be patient any further? And I said, well, I can understand the impatience. Nevertheless, practically speaking, bear in mind that you will only be successful if you keep it peaceful. And at one point, they attacked the television tower in Vilnius, killed 17 people. What did the Lithuanians do? They massed in front of the parliament they had elected, no arms, protected with their bodies, by restraint. Eventually, the Soviet Union collapsed before they did. Now, I'm not suggesting that the situations are comparable in all respects. I understand all of the differences. It worked there. It worked because of a lot of other factors. The Israelis will say to us when we say you really must leave the West Bank, oh yes, well, we left Gaza and look what happened. If we leave the West Bank, we'll be having rockets into Israel proper.
Okay.
And how do we answer that?
Okay.
That's our problem.
بدي أبدأ بمدخل بس just for joking. تقديرك لو احنا اتبعنا نصائحكم لليتوانيا ودول البلطيق، هل سنحظى بمفاجأة كمفاجأتهم في انهيار إسرائيل كما انهار الاتحاد السوفيتي؟
Lose patience.
أنا يعني أتفائل بك أن تصبح سفير أمريكا في إسرائيل لعلك. Just for joking.
This is a joke.
Understand.
أوكي.
شكرا.
شكرا.